The 1997 Tournoi de France was supposed to be a warm-up tournament for host France as part of their preparations for the World Cup, which would be held a year later. Despite being a warm-up tournament, the tournament instead became a showcase for one Brazilian player, leaving the French players speechless and stunned. Even their legendary goalkeeper Fabien Barthez was just frozen and didn't move at all. He could only watch the ball go into his goal. The goal came from a superb free kick, and the foul was 35 yards from the French goal. It's certainly a difficult goal to score from that distance. However, that didn't deter the kicker. After placing the ball on the grass, he immediately took a very long run-up. After the whistle blew, he immediately executed his trademark running style before kicking the ball as hard as he could into Barthez's goal. The result was the most iconic goal of the day. The ball went in with incredible force. Surprisingly, the kicker wasn't a striker or midfielder, but a left back. However, he wasn't your average left back, but a player who often played as a striker in Winning 11 PS1. His name was Roberto Carlos. Roberto Carlos da Silva Rocha was born on April 10, 1973, in Garça, São Paulo, Brazil. He was born to Vera Lucia da Silva and Oscar da Silva. Carlos's family life was very difficult. He lived in a poor and slum area in Brazil, where his family worked as farm laborers on a coffee plantation. Like other Brazilian boys, little Carlos grew up with a passion for football. Whenever and wherever he had time, he played. However, Carlos also had to support his family financially due to the poverty that plagued him. As a result, at the age of 12, he worked in a textile factory called Torçao Cordeiro. Since childhood, Carlos has been known for his extraordinary work ethic. He honed his football skills only on open fields and even on the streets. However, it was from here that young Carlos's talent was discovered by several local clubs, who eventually recruited him. His competitive skills began to be honed when he joined União São João, a then unknown club in Brazil. He joined in 1991 at the age of 19. With a strong determination, he wanted to become a famous footballer and wanted to improve his family's economy. Carlos often increased his own training portion, especially to hone his kicking power and speed, which later became the hallmark of his game. His efforts began to bear fruit. That same year, Carlos joined Atlético Mineiro on loan, where he was taken on the club's European tour. The tour served as a testing ground for many young players, with those who excelled earning a chance to break into the first team. However, Roberto Carlos was unable to participate in the first two matches in Italy. He only made his full debut against Lleida in Spain on August 27. During his loan spell, he made 30 appearances for the club, scoring 3 goals. Roberto Carlos's career wasn't as smooth as that of other Brazilian players who quickly became world-class stars. But after joining Palmeiras in 1993, his career began to take off. Carlos played for just under 2 seasons and led his team to 2 consecutive Brazilian league titles. That same year, Carlos also made it to the Brazilian national team. They were playing at Goodison Park. Seeing Carlos's performance attracted Birmingham City's scouts, and Carlos nearly joined the English team. However, the deal never materialized. For approximately 2 seasons, Carlos performed brilliantly with Palmeiras, making 68 matches and scoring 5 goals. Thanks to that, Carlos finally got the attention of European clubs, and the club that was most interested in him was Internazionale Milano, which finally offered him a contract in 1995. Carlos chose Inter because, at the time, Serie A was the most defensive league in the world, and he would learn a lot about becoming a formidable defender there. Despite arriving with great expectations, Carlos wasn't so fortunate. Instead of being deployed as a defender, Inter manager Roy Hodgson deployed him as a winger, or even as a striker. The reason was because Carlos managed to score 7 goals in his first 7 matches in Serie A. This made him feel miserable because he was not playing in his preferred position, which ultimately led to Carlos getting into an argument with the coach. Carlos was so reluctant to play as a striker that he even asked Inter president Massimo Moratti to sell him. This was because the Copa America was approaching, and if he wanted to play, Carlos would have to play as a full-back. It was understandable that Carlos wanted to secure his place in the starting lineup as a defender, as Brazil's front line was already filled with world-class attackers. Interestingly, on the same day he met with Moratti, Carlos also met with Real Madrid president Lorenzo Sanz. Madrid was smart, having seen Carlos's struggles at Inter, and Carlos welcomed him warmly. He ultimately decided to accept Madrid's offer without further ado. Fabio Capello, newly appointed Real Madrid manager in 1996, was perhaps the most grateful person for the spat between Carlos and Roy Hodgson. Capello was the one who secured Carlos's services after he was put on Inter Milan's transfer list. Capello must have been well aware of Carlos's qualities, given that he was still the AC Milan manager the previous season. Therefore, Capello acted quickly when he learned that Carlos was being sold by Inter. I couldn't believe Roberto Carlos was on their transfer list. I'd received several reports that Roberto Carlos had fallen out with Roy Hodgson. After I arrived at Real Madrid, I sent a fax, spoke to the president, and the next day, the deal was done. It was probably the quickest process in history, he said. Despite leaving with disappointment, Carlos still left a remarkable mark. He scored a spectacular free kick on his first visit to the land of pizza. He left for Madrid after just one season with La Benemata. At the same time, Carlos also received a call to defend the Brazilian national team, which would compete in the 1996 Summer Olympics. Unfortunately, the Brazilian national team was only able to win a bronze medal. After returning from representing his country, Carlos began a new adventure with Real Madrid, hoping to improve his career in Spain. Indeed, joining Los Blancos proved to be the right move in his football career. In Real Madrid's Los Galacticos era, he was perhaps the only truly irreplaceable player due to his ability to balance attack and defense. He's perhaps the only defender capable of consistently terrorizing opposing goalkeepers with his speed, thunderbolt-like shots, and set pieces. He also runs to the end line to deliver crosses, then immediately drops back to cut off counterattacks, like a train that knows no stopping points. With Real Madrid, Carlos had the opportunity to always appear alongside top world stars such as Raul Gonzalez, Zinedine Zidane, Luis Figo, Ronaldo, Iker Casillas, and David Beckham. The legendary Brazilian left-back's arrival had an immediate impact on the team, helping them win the La Liga title under Fabio Capello, one of 13 titles he would win during his time at Madrid. His brilliant performances in Spain earned him a call-up to the Brazilian national team in 1997, when he played in a friendly against France, and Roberto Carlos shocked the world. He scored a spectacular goal that defies logical explanation. He was awarded a free kick and fired the ball into the French goal with a truly unbelievable movement. His shot reached a speed of 169 kilometers per hour. Since then, Carlos has been nicknamed the Bullet Leg.
De longe como ele gosta, o Marcelo preocupado, partiu Roberto, uma bomba! Gol!
A year after the match, Roberto Carlos competed in the most popular sporting event, namely the 1998 World Cup. Although he failed to bring the Brazilian national team to victory and only finished as runner-up, he succeeded in bringing the Samba team to victory in the World Cup in the next edition, namely the 2002 World Cup. In the 2002 World Cup, Roberto Carlos became one of the important pillars in the superiority of the Brazilian national team and made his name into the 11 best names in the tournament. Back at club level, a year after shocking the world against France, in February 1998, Carlos again caused a stir with his goal, which could be said to be the most memorable for Real Madrid and Carlos himself.
Bagaimana tidak, ia mencetak gol dengan tendangan voli melengkung yang dilakukan dekat garis samping lapangan dalam pertandingan Copa del Rey melawan Tenerife yang digambarkan sebagai gol yang mustahil.
During his time at Real Madrid, Carlos won 4 La Liga titles and played in the 1998, 2000, and 2002 Champions League finals, all of which Real Madrid won. He was particularly notable for the 2002 Champions League final, where he provided the assist for Zinedine Zidane's goal, considered one of the greatest goals in Champions League history. In addition, Roberto Carlos was also named the club's best defender and included in the UEFA Team of the Year in 2002 and 2003. Then, in January 2006, he became Real Madrid's most capped foreign player in La Liga with 370 appearances, breaking the previous record of 329 held by Alfredo Di Stefano. During his time at Real Madrid, Roberto Carlos, along with Milan and Italy legend Paolo Maldini, was considered the best left-back in the world. In 2006, he was again part of the Brazilian national team that participated in the World Cup, but he was unable to achieve much. Brazil failed to advance to the next round after being defeated by France. Following Brazil's elimination from the quadrennial tournament, Carlos announced his retirement from the national team. Then, in March 2007, in the second leg of the Champions League round of 16 against Bayern Munich, Roberto Carlos made a fatal error when he failed to control a back pass from a Madrid teammate as Madrid kicked off the match. This allowed Bayern's Hassan Salihamidzic to win the ball and pass it to Roy Mackay, who scored the fastest goal in Champions League history in 10.12 seconds. As a result of his mistake, which resulted in his team's elimination from the Champions League, Roberto Carlos received a lot of criticism from Real Madrid fans. Then, on March 9, 2007, he announced he would leave Real Madrid after his contract expired at the end of the 2006-07 season. His final goal for Real Madrid was an extra-time winner against Recreativo de Huelva, with 3 games remaining in the 2006-2007 La Liga season. The goal proved crucial as Madrid won their 30th league title. Although they finished level on points with Barcelona, Madrid still won the championship due to their head-to-head record. Carlos's final season with Real Madrid saw him named one of the club's 3 captains, alongside Raúl and Guti. During his 11 seasons with Madrid, Carlos was the team's first-choice left-back from 1996 to 2007. He made a total of 584 appearances in all competitions, scoring 71 goals. After leaving Real Madrid, Carlos briefly played for Fenerbahce, Corinthians, and Anzi Makachkala. However, his career didn't go according to plan. Even while playing for Anzi Makachkala, Carlos experienced some racist abuse. He was even pelted with bananas by irresponsible fans. He decided to retire after just 1 season in Russia. Roberto Carlos isn't just an icon, he's the icon, not only in real-life football, but also in advertising and video games. Anyone fortunate enough to play him in Pro Evolution Soccer back in the day must have deployed him as a striker to take advantage of his incredible speed and shooting power.
Hey, what is up? Living off the edge like a barber lining up. Just another